listen to this.
You concerned any of your players be distracted tomorrow with the Four Nations rosters being announced? Is that something you're going to worry about? Who's in and who's out?
No, not necessarily. I mean, it is what it is. Like, what am I going to do? I mean, congrats if you're in. If you're not, well, that's life. Get ready for the game.
That's why he's perfect.
I love it.
I know.
I love it.
That's a perfect answer. It's like,
No, the perfect answer would have been, you've clearly run out of questions.
yeah. Do you have any actual
Do you
questions?
really think that this announcement is going to affect their ability to play the Nashville Predators tonight?
Cut to Morgan Riley in Berube's office with his head on Berube's shoulder, tears streaming down his face. Like, that didn't happen, you know?
I will say that I'm sure there's a lot of like fans, like I've mentioned. Maybe I'm just the only fan that thinks about this, but I'm sure there's a lot of coaches around the National Hockey League. You look at John Cooper, who's actually coaching this thing. You look at Craig Berube, who's losing a bunch of players. You look at the Flyers, who are two of their best players, are going to this John Tortorella. Like, I'm sure a few of them wish it wasn't happening, right? Especially the Leafs, who are having their best season, like in this sort of era. Like, they look great. Everything's humming. Everybody's feeling good. Good goaltending, good decor, all this stuff. And, you know, it's 2 weeks off where guys go play super high stakes.
Buddy, Chris Tanev can't not block shots.
That's what I mean. Like,
Imagine he goes in that event, lays out in front of a U.S. shot in the gold medal game, and the Leafs just have to go, well, we're without Chris Tanev for playoffs.
And I just, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I'm excited for the best on best. But is the juice of derailing the Toronto Maple Leafs season worth the squeeze?
Any teams.
Well, we're in the Leafs hour. We're talking about the Leafs. Is it worth it to be like, boy, we lost Marner, but God, that inaugural Four Nations face-off cup was sure worth it.
But I got to say,
A gold medal. You've got inside information. They're giving away gold medals.
well, I assume if they're giving out,
what are they going to give away?
what else are they? Something gold colored, right?
In 2016.
It was like that big.
Think they're giving out ribbons?
Don't you remember? I think
Trucks?
I think they left it in the dressing room. I don't even think they left with the 2016 trophy.
Yeah.
It was like that big. It was like a crystal-looking chalice of some kind.
The Crystal's such a cop-out. They're like, we know our event is not.
Crystal.
I will say, someone said in our tweet, we mentioned something about the Four Nations, said, it's just a made-up event. And it's like, yeah, bud, they're all made-up events. The Stanley Cup was made up.
Once upon a time, the Olympics was made up.
Yeah, like you're going to put the best players from their country against the best players from our country, and they're going to try their asses off.
It's a great point.
Whatever you call it, you know.
Like, yeah.
We had to make something up to make it happen because there's no Olympics.
It's just, where are you emotionally tied to this? That's the basis of that comment.
The cup is.
Yes.
It carries bigger emotional weight and all that. But
I got to tell you, I think I would rather see the Leafs win the Cup than Canada win the inaugural Four Nations face-off.
Okay.
If I'm being totally honest with the audience.
One more thought in our Leaf Hour, and you mentioned Hakanpaa being named to Team Finland. And I actually think that this is a good sign for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That
long term,
he's on this team, because there has to be a sense that he's going to be around.
Yeah,
he's going to be around, and he's going to play at some point. And it's not like he's completely on Robert Island right now.
You're right. They have not written him off.
There would have been plenty of opportunities for Brendan Shanahan or Brad Treliving to go back to Team Finland and say, hey, bud, like, he's got the knee of a matchstick.
Yeah. Like, guys, you don't want to do this.
A wooden matchstick. Okay?
But maybe this is like the Doughty thing where they're like, he's either can do it and we want him, or we can't do it and we get to pick someone else anyway.
I think it's just a matter of where he is in terms of feeling good or not feeling good. I think he's going to be on this cycle where it's like good
Two
week,
games,
good
1
good
month
week,
out.
good week,
Yeah.
bad 2 days, 3 days, good week,
Yeah.
bad week, and you just hope if it's Finland, that you catch them on a good week.
You know, if you're Henri Jokiharju or Urho Vakanainen, you're standing by, you're at the ready. Let's put it that way. So there's a couple of Finnish options in the NHL waiting to step in.
Okay, Nashville. What do you got for me? What are you thinking? Is this just another game like Chicago where they can kind of play at times poorly and still get away with 2 points?
It's hard, right? They haven't had much success lately, but they've lost 4 straight games. They lost to the Devils, very good team. Lightning, very good team. Wild, best team in the NHL right now. Like, they're not rolling over to, tomato cans here. They've played some good teams. We know they have good players, but yeah, it's it's a game you should win.
Berube had a good clip on the Nashville Predators. Why don't we play that and react off of it?
Clip 5.
Well, I look at their team the last 10 games, and they've really tightened things up, in my opinion, defensively, and they've been a lot better. I think they got 5 overtime losses in those games. So, I mean, their record could be a lot better. They got good veterans over there. I'm not going to name them all. They got a real good goalie. So it's a challenge. It's a desperate team right now, the way I look at it, the situation they're in. So we need to be ready to go and match that desperation.
I love that he's like, I'm not doing your homework for you.
He's like,
3 straight OT losses.
Yeah.
We spoke yesterday of the New York Rangers and how collectively they're all underperforming, underachieving, and this team's right there with them.
Yeah.
When especially when you factor in the key signings. On paper, they look fantastic, or at least a team that could quite easily make the playoffs.
You would have thought so preseason.
You would have thought so.
Yeah.
But that chemistry thing has not worked out.
It's real. It's fascinating, too. Like Stamkos, who they gave a pretty good chunk of change to. On the power play, 6 goals, even strength, 1. Points on the power play, he's got 10, even strength, 3. Like his numbers on power play and even strength are night and day. So he's like kind of a one-dimensional guy for them right now.
Nashville kind of gave me a thought that I was, just looking at their roster and looking at the way their season's gone and how, by all accounts, they quote-unquote won the offseason, right? Mm-hmm. I would say that their offseason this year is certainly a cautionary tale for this upcoming offseason for the Toronto Maple Leafs, where, there's been a ton of talk, and I don't really want to get into the Marner thing right now, but there's been a ton of talk about him leaving, John Tavares leaving, all that relief off the cap and all this money to go out and spend on free agents. And it's like, you can go out there, you can spend all this money on free agents, and you can look better on paper, and you can convince yourself that these new guys are going to be different, but, you might not be any better. And you might actually be way worse. And it's a bit of a cautionary tale for me looking ahead for the Leafs here. Because at least they're going to have so much cap space, especially if Marner and Tavares walk here. $22 million, all these big name free agents, the Bennett's out there, all these that are ripe to be overpaid. Yeah. And you do it and you're like, oh crap, we're not going to
take your $30 million into Dollarama and see what the best you can do is. It's tough.
I don't think that the Leafs have a foundation that's as bad as Nashville. Like, the Leafs have a good foundation, and I think they'd find a way to be a good team. But it's just, you can't change everything in free agency and think you're going to be a cup contender, because it rarely ever works.
Is that a lesson that Barry Trotz has found out the hard way right now?
Yeah,
or do you think that there's some hope here?
Well, it's funny, like, Nashville must have thought, or they must have talked themselves into being close, don't you think? Like, to go get old guys. And let's go, in context of the league, these are old players in Marchessault and Stamkos. They must have thought they're pretty close. Or is it that market that they have to compete?
I think they're still good players.
Yeah.
But it's almost as if that you had Brent Burns in San Jose, and you went and got Carlson, and they never mixed. Mm-hmm. They never worked.
You think it's a matter just doesn't work?
Stamkos and Marchessault, like 2 right-handed shots. 2 guys that can kind of play similar. I know Stamkos has got more of a reputation as the top of the circle slap shot, but
Marchessault was great on the power play last year.
You didn't need 2 guys that are quite similar. Mm-hmm. If they would have picked one, and for me it would have been Stamkos, left Marchessault off, and go get another quality centerman. And Ryan O'Reilly cannot be the number one centerman on this team. It's just he's too far gone. He's trending right there with Tavares, where it's like, yeah, on some nights he can look really good, but
he can't generate it on his own.
He's not in the right slot right now at this point of his career to carry this roster.
Part of me believes, and I don't know anything, but like if you're Ryan O'Reilly and you're familiar with this Toronto market and you know that you are in decline, like he would have some idea where he's at in his career arc. This would have been a really tough market to sign for 4 years and have people all over you as you're not as good as you once were.
Well, is that the main reason why he didn't sign here?
It would have factored into my decision, but I can't speak for him.
I also think that where he would slot on the Toronto Maple Leafs right now,
He'd look a lot better.
he'd look a lot better, I think, right? I mean, this team, I don't think they'd be struggling like the Nashville Predators are. He'd be more of part of a team that's playing well, and people would be
But
frankly
he'd still be
loving
the
him.
same player and just maybe propped up a bit
For
better
sure.
for a while.
Yeah.
But he's still a power play guy. Like their specialty teams actually are strong,
Yeah.
right?
I'm not sure. Let's find out.
Where would he have been on a Leaf power play?
Yeah, that's true. So they're 17th
with
in
Tavares
power
still
play.
here.
Just 10 seconds left in the power play.
Really good PK
Best in the NHL.
and power play.
89% power play is 17th in the league.
Mid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so they're going to be fun to watch tonight just because big stars try to figure out what's going on there. UC Saros up against Joseph Wool. They won't have Jake McCabe tonight, which is, I think, genuinely surprising considering what we heard after McCabe took the puck to the head. You know,
What did we hear?
well, we heard the coach say, well, they said
It wasn't serious.
it wasn't serious.
And he took part in the main practice yesterday, was a part of the line rushes.
said he felt good
And said he
somewhere in
felt
there.
good after.
Yeah.
And then
I'm getting a completely different sense this year from previous years where even if they think it's day to day, they got no problem a guy sitting out a week or multiple games. I think it's completely changed because they've now established true depth.
Yeah.
And they're not scrambling in the standings and they don't go through long funks. So I think this is just really about keeping guys fresh, keeping them in, and getting to April where there's not a ton of, there isn't any more wear and tear on guys than you really have to be. He could play. For sure he could play. If this
Game
was
one of
we have a game
playoffs.
one of the playoffs, meaningful game for a division, he's playing.
Yeah.
But this is the new Leafs right now. We got depth. Let's spread it around.
I do think this one is a little, the fact that he practiced yesterday and was part of the line rushes and said he was going to play yesterday. This one is a little bit more, less of a lie.
Now concussion symptoms.
less of a lie, and him actually maybe not feeling great. Well, because they've been lying to us for
Less of a lie.
Less of a lie is just a fib.
Less of a lie.
Well, they've been lying for the
How will you go
entire
home
season.
sometimes and tell your wife, this one was just less of a lie, honey?
I never lie to my wife, and she listens to the show. So I just we can listen to the clips. Oh yeah, Kipper, you have my sheet. There's two McCabe updates.
There's a clip one there.
Clip one.
From Brewby.
So Jake McCabe okay to go tonight?
No,
Oh,
he's out.
what happened? Like he seems like
Just not feeling right. Not feeling good enough to play. So he will not play tonight.
The reporter, I don't know who that was.
Mark
was
Masters.
so surprised. What happened?
Smart
You hit by a bus?
There's clip two too. Play the second one too.
On Will McCabe play this week.
Yeah, I'm a positive guy, so yeah, I do expect. But listen, I mean, he's. It's just how he feels, right? So hopefully he's feeling better and better every day, and we'll see. Like this guy's he's a warrior. He'll play if he can. So I'm hoping he's back.
Okay, so
Slight concern.
he's just,
that's it.
What does that mean? 70%, 75? He wants to feel 90, 100. It's
I don't like a guy getting hit in the brain and then 2 days later saying, I don't feel good. I don't think that's good.
No, I don't either. And he's a really important guy for them. Like,
Yeah.
I just, I thought a lot of, you look at Monday night where they were pretty crappy against a bad team and not having the ability to lean on that Tanev McCabe pairing. I think you noticed it defensively. No, like it felt
The one that went in off Timmins, he's there because McCabe isn't there.
Felt different to me defensively, not having him in there because it's just the way everybody slots in when he's there. I think it changes them pretty significantly not having him. So I hope he gets back all right.
That would be good.
All right, you got a clip of the goalie situation. What struck you on listening to this?
Just about, he got asked about how he was going to split it up, and he kind of went into it and talked. I mean, it's not a groundbreaking one, but I thought it's a good jumping off point for the goaltending.
Yeah, well, it's very good, and it's you look at this month and the schedule and how many games are packed in there. The back-to-backs, I think there's 4 of them. Need 2 goalies, so it's great that they're both playing well and doing a good job for us.
Part of our job is convincing the people this is very complicated, and it's just not. And Berube just sells us out. It's like, what do you?
Well, look, anybody that's never been around the game can not go wrong picking a goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you could be the biggest moron hanging out at Tim Hortons, and you're not going to go wrong picking a goalie to play tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
There's not a bad option.
I will.
Pretty solid.
I'm a generally pretty cynical Toronto Maple Leaf fan. You guys would say that. But I would say that the way these 2 goalies look, and this is all with the huge caveat of health, and the health has been a huge issue especially for Joseph Woll and for Stolarz in years past. But having this goaltending is something that Leaf fans and the Leafs in general have not been used to.
Right.
And you add that in with Chris Tanev. You add that in with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 2 capable NHL defensemen. I mean, above capable for Chris Tanev, an elite defensive guy. I would say that I am starting to let myself believe I'm thrilled in a little different outcome this year.
Okay.
Is that allowed or no? Is it just November?
No, I'm not going to allow it.
You're not allowing it?
I
I'm not
allow
allowed
it. It's got my stamp of approval, Sam.
No, really?
If you can't believe in this team, what team can you believe in
It's
as
not
a
that
fan?
I don't believe.
Listen, Samsonov was letting in 6 a night last year at this time.
My experience of a very long year where
I know, it's
a lot
November,
of
boys,
things
or
can
December
happen.
now.
A lot of things can happen. It's be cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's what I said. I'm not saying they're winning the damn cup. I'm saying
you're I can see you right now. You're in love. You're in the clouds right now. You're in love with the goalies.
I love what Craig Berube's done to the team.
Okay.
I love his press conferences, even though he's ruined Kipper's Clippers. I
don't think he's ruined them. He's just altered them.
He's just turned it down a little bit.
Well, he speaks English,
but
just direct.
Yeah, there's not a lot of word
Don't
salad.
read into anything like that.
But this is the best goaltending duo in the league.
So yeah,
like I mean, it's a semantics thing because there's guys who are the better number 1 or whatever and all that stuff. But they're the clear best tandem.
You're not going wrong right now.
But if they're this good, why am I not allowed to be excited about a different?
Because do you believe that they're this good?
I do believe that they're this good.
Because I don't know.
Dude,
we don't have Vezina track records behind them.
If one of them goes for a major dump, or we're going to have to find a new producer.
No, listen, buddy, if you think that is going to make you need a new... I've been through a hell of a lot worse than that,
I've seen you drag your Leaf lip into this room on many occasions.
The Leafs have gone into every single playoff series over the Matthews era outside
with not the best goalie.
Second best goaltending. And they've won one of those playoff series. And you can talk about a lot of stuff. You can talk about penalty kill. You can talk about goal power play.
Yes.
Everything drying up.
Yeah.
But so many of these games have come down to them not getting a save.
I get it.
Yes.
I get it. I'm not with you.
I think of I think of Brandon Gallagher shooting one in from the blue line through Jack
On
Campbell's
That
pads.
was the one that came to mind for me too.
Samsonov swimming.
So going back to 16-17, which I think is Marner Matthews' first year, if I'm not mistaken, the best goalie tandems for the Leafs, combined save percentage of their best two goalies This is the best they've ever been, 924 between Stolarz and Wall. The next best two were both Freddie Anderson and
McElhinney?
Curtis McElhinney.
Yeah.
And that was 17-18 and 16-17.
Yeah, but Freddie played
Anderson
75
and Stark
games.
were in there. And then, Samsonov and Murray, the fifth best.
So, want to get your thoughts on Stolarz being named one of the stars last game, and then came out with sunglasses. And
Yeah.
did he take some heat for that?
Well, I liked the sunglasses. Did you see that they were camera?
Well, that was the
sunglasses?
idea. I think like a social media Leafs person gave them to him because they had camera in them.
Yeah, it was a camera that filmed. Now, the story I got that it wasn't the Leafs PR, it was just a fan.
Someone. Oh, okay.
Just a fan. A fan.
Love that.
Cool as hell.
That just
Love that.
threw these on and said, can you videotape for me?
Yeah.
Really?
And Stolarz, as the story I understand, went, sure, why not? And he went out there, and
That's hilarious.
I love that.
Yeah.
I do love that because, he's not showing anyone up. He's not looking too cool for school just because he wants to. Like, the visiting team's gone. That was just an interaction between him and a fan connecting. What's wrong with that?
That's fun. And it's funny. Everything is so tightly controlled from a PR perspective with the Leafs.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a guy do a thing.
And everybody out there who will never get a chance to know what it feels like to be the first star for the Toronto Maple Leafs got to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
You skate out on there and you get to see a fully empty building because nobody stays to watch the 3 stars as usual.
After every show, you are
Oh, stop.
second star.
We do a ceremony in here
thought you were gonna
after
say
every
third
show.
star.
No.
Sir?
The old saying, right? That's what Don Knockbauer used to tell me in Hershey. Kipper,
Second star?
second star tonight. I'm like, who's first star? He goes, everybody else.
That's pretty rude. Did you guys want to hear Craig Berube's thoughts on Alex Nylander's time with the Leafs?
Is it over?
Well, he's a healthy scratch tonight.
Sure.
Okay, clip 4, please.
Just okay. I mean, he's done some good things. He had some scoring opportunities early on when he was playing. He's a skilled guy that scores. Hasn't been a ton of power play time for him. The first unit eats a lot of that up, and but I'd say fair.
I just wanted to play that because just okay. The flashbacks.
Jimmy Vesey.
No, that was Vanilla. He called him Vanilla.
Yeah.
James Reimer and Randy Carlyle. Randy Carlyle got asked how James Reimer played, and he said, just okay. And it was a S storm. And he said, just okay, and it just brought back memories. As Leaf fans listening, you'll remember that.
I thought of Sheldon Keefe talking to Jimmy Vesey and saying it's just been vanilla so far.
He's going to be one of those tweeners where he's good in the American
Begging
Hockey
for
League.
expansion. Give me
And
2 more teams and I'm making
even
$1 million.
Even expansion probably can't save him. He's just not going to be an everyday regular NHLer, and he can go down there and have great success. Go look over the last 50 years of really good scores in the American Hockey League that just can't make the jump.
I bet you Willie, like they're best buddies. I bet you Willie will say to the organization and Alex will say to the organization, like, this is where I'll play in the minors. I'll be an up and down guy. I just want to be in Toronto.
I mean, we got our pictures, right? We got all the pictures we need.
You don't think he would get claimed? Think he'd clear?
No, I think he clear.
I think he cleared too.
I think he clear.
It's crazy. Like, what happened in Columbus? He scored 11 times in 20 games and everyone's like,
Others
Nick Roberts scored 14 and 54 here, too. You could study that one.
Others could get claimed.
Well.
Others could get claimed off waivers.
Yeah. Okay, let's are we guess the clock, aren't we?
Yeah, we could take a break.
All right, we'll take a break. Robbie Stanley, host of Robbie and Rex Road in Nashville, and also does some work corresponding for NHL.com, will join us next. We'll talk Nashville Predators, Barry Trotz, Roman Josi, Ryan O'Reilly. What the heck's going on with them? Andrew Burnett. All when we return to Real Kipper.